Hello, we are here in Armenia at the Fastex Harmony Meetup with Vakhtang Abrahamyan, CEO of Fastex. Great to see you and congrats on the stunning growth. You guys started in 2023 and now you've exploded. What has that been like? What explains the growth you've seen so far?
Thanks, Jeff, and welcome to Armenia. Well, as you correctly mentioned, we have started quite recently, just not complete 2 years. The idea was the first. The shareholder, Mr. Badalyan, has an idea to, transform the existing businesses and expand in a new Web3 sort of ecosystem with new ideas and new businesses and opportunities. So it was started with the idea of the blockchain, to set up the blockchain. Then we explore a little bit more to understand what businesses are at that time, were interested in, and we could move forward with that ideas. So the idea of the exchange came to the horizon. As myself with the financial background, starting to explore the licensing options, the regulatory environment there, and understood that there is a good opportunity to initiate the business of the virtual asset service provider, as it used to say now, the crypto exchange. We started the licensing process and then moved with that. Then the blockchain came, the technology guys came. By the way, that all these achievements is due to the perfect team and tremendous people that we were surrounded, and we were managing to combine those people together with the common goal of conquering the world, I would say.
Very modest goal, right?
Yeah. As usual, from that perspective, very soon we have managed to obtain the license from the European regulator, then moved to the Dubai entity, and then applied for the license in Dubai. Alongside with that, the exchange activities, the blockchain itself were growing, and then the native coin has been introduced. We moved with that direction as well, set up the foundation in Switzerland to promote the developers to start thinking on deploying smart contracts on our blockchain to expand the usability of that blockchain. And thanks God, we now have many solutions on the blockchain itself. And then the idea came for the phygital space. If you are in Dubai or here in Armenia, you may see our phygital space with the NFT gallery, and then artist collaboration. This is something that we try to combine the technology and the art together.
I've seen it, by the way, in person.
Yeah.
It's stunning, the combination of the physical art, how it's linked to kind of a digital twin NFT. And it's amazing what you pulled off with that gallery, and I love that you collaborate with local artists also.
Yeah.
So it's not just some theoretical concept, it's local artists working with you guys.
Actually, it's the global cooperation, because we cooperate all around the world with the artists, and there is I'm happy to announce that we have a long queue of the artists waiting for their turn to come in and to have their exhibition in place. Then some educational component is there for the kids. We have some drawing and technology classes in this space as well, so they learn the technology.
So as kids are learning and growing their art and
Right.
creativity, they're also at the same time learning Web3 tools.
Exactly, and they learn business as well, because the marketplace is there. So once they deploy, they create some art, they create a digital twin in forms of NFT and then put on the marketplace for sale.
That's wild, because traditionally artists, there's the cliche almost of starving artists, right?
Yes.
They go learn their art, they toil away, and they spend their adult years hungry and starving. So here it's like in tandem, they express creativity and learn these new Web3 tools as well.
Yeah, as the technology used to be called a disruptive one in the Web3. So this also they disrupt the common understanding and cliches, as you said, for number of areas, from traditional finance to decentralized finance, from artist way of we realize the art and then how we exhibit. But at the end of the day, we utilize the technology itself that could be applied for a number of areas, starting from the government and the state funds management, finishing with the title, digital right, legal aspects, etc. So we do see the enormous opportunities there as the technology is growing in terms of cooperation with number of stakeholders.
There's so much to unpack there because you guys are doing so much in such a short period of time. Let's start with the exchange. My understanding is the exchange is really fundamental, the hub to much of what you're doing. What makes for a successful and good exchange? What are kind of the qualities you're bringing to it? And you mentioned two things that I think are pretty important, licenses and regulation. Talk about how the regulatory environments and your work with regulation authorities kind of helps drive the success of an exchange.
Yeah, as I told, and in every business, the people is the key. So thanks God, we managed to combine a good professional team to start with. And as an exchange, there are several, preconditions to enter into this. First, you need to be compliant, because if 5-10 years ago, you may start out
Wild
of
West
nothing,
5 years ago,
Wild
right?
West,
Yeah.
absolutely. And now we are witnessing more and more regulators, asking some tough questions for those who started 5-10 years ago for a number of transactions they have made, though it was unregulated, but still.
Retroactively, they're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And from this perspective, being compliant is the key here, and we have a common understanding, thanks God, with the shareholders as well, that becoming fully compliant in terms of the regulation, and the regulation is becoming more and more clear and transparent for us, which is for the business is very good for long-term, strategy that we are developing. One example, in January 2025, we will be witnessing the MiCA regulation in Europe becoming in force, which set number of clear sort of messages in terms of the regulation, though it has areas for improvement definitely, and there are a number of questions need to be addressed. But for the business, the clarity and predictability is something that we expect from the regulators. We work very closely with the regulators all over the world where we intending to get the license. As I mentioned, United Arab Emirates is the other destination we are currently in. And we have a pre-approval from VARA, Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority there, waiting for the operational license become in force, and thanks God it's very healthy and professional discussion with them. Here in Armenia we work with the regulators, with the central bank to draft, we know that the draft law on digital assets are in circulation here. So we do expect a number of positive developments here as well. So basically, this is the one aspect in terms of the success, being compliant with the regulatory requirements. The second, I think the most important one, is the technological aspect in terms of the security, because you deal with the customer funds and you need to be sure that they are protected.
In one lapse, you're in big trouble, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's critical to have that buttoned up.
And in case of the traditional banks, you could find the funds and then get it back. Here, it's lost. So the awareness programs, the trainings, all those is part of our daily activities in the exchange to make our user becoming more informed and professional in a sense.
I'm guessing also the blockchain itself is critical for your mission. Talk about what you're building with your blockchain and kind of what sets it apart from others in this space.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit general because we have tough guys with our team that could be covering more and more details on that. The blockchain is layer 1 blockchain actually, with the native coin, the FAST token there, and literally yesterday, and we will gonna announce today that we have launched the layer 2.
Congratulations.
On the blockchain. Yes, thank you very much. We do expect more and more developers coming in with some interesting solutions, starting from gaming, finishing with the social networking and number of other activities. The blockchain itself, we have a couple of specifics in terms of the blockchain. One is the consensus mechanism, which is the proof of stake and activity, which means that the validators of the blocks could have a chance to earn more once they bring more activity on the blockchain through the smart contracts, which is sort of a know-how in our terms, because previously, either you have a computation power, then you earn more in proof of work concept. in terms of the proof of stake, you have more money, you earn more money. Here, you need to be smarter to bring activity, to draft the contracts that could bring you more activity on the network, and thus having more chance to get rewarded.
We're almost out of time, but I have to ask you two things that sound super interesting. NFT Awards. Tell me about the NFT award shows, that international awards you guys pull together. What's the vision for that, and how do you see it evolving in the future?
Actually, when we were opening the digital space in Dubai particularly, because we first moved there, we thought it's mostly the advertising campaign, part of the site sort of awareness. But then suddenly, all of a sudden, we found that there is a huge interest starting from the government institutions like the sport authorities having their shops in metaverse, for example, with the t-shirt in NFTs, the ticketing system in NFTs. All those activities bring us to the point where we had a number of partners in NFT space, and we decided with very interesting ideas and know-hows. So we decided, why don't we have an award ceremony, separating them and having some contest to motivate them to bring more ideas in the field. So it became a tradition on an annual basis to have this award ceremony with some interesting, the most innovative idea in NFT, the most creative.
I love it. I think space needs more of that. Space needs more celebration of these ideas.
Absolutely. I'm inviting you to the next ceremony, definitely.
I appreciate that. I'll be there. Amazing. And then one thing I heard about was this very interesting, almost legend in Armenia about, if I'm mispronouncing, I apologize, Hurri.
Hurri.
Tell me about the tool that Fastex has developed that combines, as I understand it, this age-old charming legend of Hurri with AI and how you're deploying that to help help blockchain solutions. I find that so interesting.
Yeah, it's Fastex with the another brand called Ucraft. Together we have deployed, Ucraft was initially deploying this, and Fastex was utilizing a lot this AI tool in terms of customer support, those types of automated solutions that we could apply. Hurri, from the legend, it comes that Hurri was the lazy lady.
A lazy lady, right?
Right. Don't want to do anything, but here we turned into the, again, disruptive ideology to bring something new with this concept. And Hurri became a very interesting assistant in terms of, being trained and helping you to, again, in the metaverse, for example, there is an interesting concept that, again, together with the shareholder, we have developed this idea to be present, once we are presenting in any of the conferences or places where we physically present, we create the same infrastructure in the metaverse with our AI assistant in place.
To help the lazy ladies and men out. I'm very lazy myself, so I need the help too.
Yes, so if you don't want to enter into the venue, go to these booths, circle around, you just enter into the metaverse and our digital twins are there, ready to answer all the questions in terms of the partnership, cooperation, whatsoever. And it brings sort of some reality feelings in terms of interacting with the people who trained its Hurri to be presenting him in the virtual space. I
love it. Last question for you. What are you most excited about going forward in the future with Fastex evolution? How do you see things shaking out in the future?
As we talked about the regulation that becoming more and more clear, I think the cooperation with traditional financial institutions, we're currently witnessing a number of financial institutions, major banks are moving into the blockchain, the Visa, MasterCard, telling that they are exploring the options for payments, etc. So I do see the cooperation with traditional finance institutions as a good opportunity for us to move forward, entering into the new markets and transforming the existing financial services in general, which is also a very challenging aspect, but we do see the opportunity. And the technology itself is evolving so fast that my understanding that in 2 years we can't even imagine what will be happen. So we need to be ready and move forward for new challenges.
Well, you guys have seemed to be ready so far very quickly on a dime, made all these developments. Congrats again, and I will see you at the award show. Thanks again.
Thank you.